Most people have decided at some point in their life to either make the effort to read more or at least try to read more at some point. But still, if you ask people, none of them, or at least the minority, actually lists reading as one of their hobbies. In this video, we will explore why that is and how the Kindle Paperwhite might actually help you get at least a little bit closer to this problem. Hey friends, I'm Stefan, and on this channel I discuss everything that I love, gadgets I use, and whatever makes my life easier. So sit back, relax, get a drink, and let's dive right in. Let's first explore why we don't read more than we actually could. Most of us have a book that we either want to read or, if that makes sense, want to have read. But we don't make time for this, and this often is not because we don't fancy reading, it's because there are a lot of things that we deem more important than actually reading. This could be, of course, work, spending quality time with your significant other, with your family, taking care of somebody else, having obligations, having kids. The list goes on, even just your other hobbies. Because in the end, reading should be one of your hobbies, but not the hobby that defeats all other hobbies and is the only one that you do. But that's not all. Also, there's some kind of decision fatigue. Maybe you want to read, but you don't know what you want to read. In this case, you also need to decide which book to actually get first, and you would need to have to do some research, and it's a little bit of an investment also. And if you decide for a book, the book needs to get to you. So you need to either get to a bookstore to physically get the book, or order it, for example, from Amazon, I don't know, to have it delivered to you. So from the moment you decide, I want to read, to actually being able to read, there is quite a bit of time that passes just to get the physical book in your hands. In terms of availability, this is not even the end. Let's say you do have a book, but it's a very heavy book, and you are out and about and you ride the public transport, you probably won't have that book with you, would you? Because if it's a very thick, bulky, heavy book, you don't pack that all the time. So the availability is not only getting the book, but also having the book when you want to read. The last part that stops you from reading when you want is actually all the light that we have, or more like don't have. When you read and the light is poor, for example, at night, laying down in bed, then it's getting really hard to read. It's dim, and if you turn the book a certain way, then shadows are being cast on the other page, and it's really a hassle to read in dim conditions. The solution to most of these problems, at least for me, is the Kindle from Amazon. In case you're one of the guys who have not heard about the Kindle is an ebook reader by Amazon, which they sell for the last, I think, about 15 years, even longer. And it has an e-ink display, which is a display that is very friendly on your eyes, not comparable to phone's display, because it has no refresh rate. It just renders a picture and it stays there. And one of the big benefits of the Kindle is that it is really light. It has a great form factor, smaller than most books, especially in the width department, and the battery is amazing. It lasts for weeks. And since it has an internal storage, it actually allows you to carry hundreds of books with you. So you don't really have to decide what to get. But how does the Kindle help you read actually more? The biggest part for me is reducing the friction to start reading. Most of the time, it is quite enjoyable actually to read a book that you're into, but it takes most of the energy to just start to read. So by having this small device, being able to always be with you in a bag, if it's winter, just in your jacket pocket, in your backpack, it takes up not that much space. It would even fit in like a cargo pocket of a normal pair of trousers. So you can always have this with you, and you can harness these moments where you could read in theory, but usually that would just not be an option. So what would be examples where you could actually use this to read more while not even carving out more time throughout your day actually to read? A few examples would be If you, for example, ride public transportation, just have the Kindle with you, read there. If you have a break somewhere at work, for example, you could have the Kindle with you and read. If you have a doctor's appointment and need to wait, you can read there. If you have an appointment for a car, yeah, read there. If you are in the city, need a little break and think, maybe I get myself a coffee, just rest for 10 minutes, you can get that coffee and read. So you don't need to find that dedicated time spot of the day where you say, oh, now all the stars align, I have time, it's very quiet, I'm not too full, not too hungry, I'm awake but not like hyperactive. Now I sit down and everything aligns so I can read. You basically make it way easier to sneak in that 5 to 10 minutes somewhere around through a day. Also, as this one Kindle carries multiple books and doesn't even get any heavier if you carry more books inside this Kindle, it allows you to carry not only one book but 10, 20. I think I have like 20, 30 books right now downloaded on this Kindle. So when I'm out and about, I don't need to decide what I bring beforehand. So I can just look for what I'm in the mood at that point and just read that. The newer models also have Bluetooth, so you could have an audiobook from Audible, for example, on this Kindle to listen to that as well. But you have a phone for this one. One of the biggest advantages of having the Kindle is the lighting. The Kindle is lighted. Let's try and see if that works. Yeah, you can maybe see a little bit of the lighting here, and you can control the lighting. The color temperature to make it a little bit more warmer or colder depending on what time of the day you want to read. But also you can control the brightness of the display. So if you're outside, it's very bright, you might want to bump up the brightness so you can still read. And if you're in bed, you can maybe dim it down a bit so you're not blinded and still being able to read. And it's perfectly illuminated. You don't have to arrange yourself with your nightstand light or anything. You can basically read in complete darkness and it just works and it's amazing. One of the biggest hurdles to actually get a Kindle and start and seeing how it feels is that you probably won't want to spend the money. I think the Kindle is around 100 euros, give or take. There are different options with storage, and also if you want to have a few advertisements on that or have it completely wiped clean of advertisements, these ones are a little bit more expensive. And yeah, you don't want to spend $100 just for having the experience or test out if the Kindle works. So in this case, try and use your phone. You can just download the Kindle app and it gets you most of the way what a Kindle really gets. The Kindle is better, bar none, because the experience reading on that Kindle with this e-ink display and having a dedicated device only for reading is superior to reading with your phone. It is more enjoyable and also way less distracting because you can put your phone in airplane mode or do not disturb or something, and there's nothing that actually tries to price away your attention while you're reading, which would make you not really to focus on that reading experience. The phone is good and you will have that with you all the time many ways. So maybe just start with downloading a book on your phone, reading it there, and if you like the experience, consider getting a Kindle. If you don't like the experience, but try it out, maybe order a Kindle, try it out for a week or two, and send it back if you don't like it. Amazon allows that, at least in Germany. So order it, try it out, and if it's not for you, just send it back and don't bother anymore. So summary, the Kindle allows you to read not only anywhere you like, but often situations where you usually would not carry a classical paperback book with you. By this, it allows you to read more books than you would possibly be able to read, and it makes it way more enjoyable because the weight is less than a typical book and the lighting is way better than a book could be. As a little bonus tip, if you find it a little bit difficult actually holding the Kindle for prolonged times, you have two options. The first one is getting some kind of case for your Kindle that protects it a bit, even though the Kindle is super rough and you don't really need to protect it, I guess. But this case would give you a little bit more friction to hold it. Another option that I personally love even more is consider getting a pop socket. These were traditionally just used for handies, smartphones, and I use them on this Kindle, and I have it not square in the middle, I have it at one edge, so I can just slide in my fingers around it and carry my Kindle like this. This is absolutely amazing because you can read like this, and especially how I like to read, lying down in bed on my back and just having my Kindle above me. This is really difficult to hold a book like this, but not with the Kindle. It's amazing to read like this with the Kindle. So go ahead and give the Kindle app a shot. And maybe let me know in the comments which you book are waiting to read for a long time but haven't really found the time to actually read. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing so you won't miss the next video that I will be doing. There will be, in the short future, a comparison between reading a paperback, a Kindle book and an audiobook to have all three compared. And maybe watch this video here in the meantime until this video drops. Thank you so much. See you soon. Goodbye.